Welcome to Pouls-Kitchen. Today we're going to do some Alfredo. What is it, Amy?
Chicken Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo.
Fettuccine.
Fettuccine. Alfredo chicken fettuccine. Sorry, it's a little tongue twister. This is a good Italian dish. We're going to make this very healthy. So before we begin, hit the like, share, subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Pouls-Kitchen, this is Chef Paul, and today we're going to be making a really awesome video. It's one Amy's been on her hands and knees begging for, crying every day. Chef Paul, would you please make me some Alfredo fettuccine or whatever? She's been crying. It's like, please, oh please, Chef Paul, make it for me. So today that's what we're going to do. So please hit the like button, share and subscribe, and let's get started. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get a pot heated up, and very important, before we really get halfway, we need to make sure that our noodles are done. So we need to get this boiling. We're going to use a big pot because I'm going to make a really big batch. But you make sure that this is boiling there. I'm not going to use any salt. Feel free if that's what you want to do, no problem. But make your noodles, get them started. You're not going to dump the noodles when they're or the water out of the noodles when they're done, though. You're going to save the water. You heard me right. You're going to save the water. So first, we're going to start by making an onion garlic sauce. So we've chopped up some garlic and some onion. I've already got our wok in here already going, and we're going to carefully put the onion in here, and we're going to let it caramelize. We're going to put this in here too. This is just an excuse to make Amy clean more.
No!
She likes clean. So, if you're a salt person, feel free to put salt in this. Some people will swear by it. When we're done this is actually going in a food processor. We're going to make a nice sauce out of this. Yeah, I know you're thinking, like, this is not real fettuccine. You're right, it isn't. But we're going to try to make this healthy and good. So I'm going to dip a bunch of pepper on here. And over here we have Chef Stanley cooking up a mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to start cooking these down until they start getting the caramelization process. You don't need to go the whole way, but cook them down until they're starting to darken up, start to get some translucency. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this into our food processor. This little thing. Now, it's a small thing, so it's probably going to take us a little bit of time to actually get everything actually all processed. But we're going to try to make this into a sauce. So if it takes a couple times, depending on the size of your processor, it does. Not a big deal. So it's not overly important to the size of how much you cut your onion and garlic up, because it's going to go through the food processor anyways. So it's all going to come into a sauce, and this is what's going to come into our sauce at the end of the day. Now, yeah, I know what you're thinking. This looks like it's going to be a bit much. And you know what? You're right, it is. But that's fine. So we got some more things to chop up, namely some green onions and some mushrooms. So I'm gonna let you go for now, and Chef Amy's gonna start chopping that up, and we'll be back when this is out of the food processor and you can see this. Now, a really cool thing you can do with this before we go though, you can use that sauce for a lot of other things too. So I mean, it's not bad. Like if we're not going to use this whole thing here, we can put it in the Tupperware, use it for something else. Sauce for hot dogs. You want to make a nice spaghetti sauce that has a nice onion garlic smell to it, or flavor to it, this will do wonderful. It really will. So this is going to take terribly long, and we're just going to let this cook down so it's nice and soft and moist and ready. And we're not going to clean this pot out. We're going to leave this pot the way it is. Because when it's done, we're going to put some more olive oil in, and we're going to put the chicken in. It's going to taste wonderful. It's going to taste great. So we'll be back when that's done. Welcome back. So we've got our pureed, almost pureed onion and garlic sauce. This is going to give it a lot of extra taste and flavor to it when we actually start working on the sauce. But we can let this cool down for a little bit, not a big deal. May not even use all of it, but it can go in the fridge for a while. So I mean, you're always going to have use for it. You can use it really good for making onion or steak and stuff like that. So now I've got some more oil sitting in here. And now we're going to work on the chicken. So we've already cubed up the chicken as best we could. And this is not going to take a long time, so you really need to babysit this a lot. I've already got olive oil on the bottom, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil. Always use extra virgin. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. Don't need a whole lot. Now, this has already come in contact with raw chicken, so that goes in the sink. It does not get used for anything else. So, spices, the Alfredo is going to have its own flavor to it, so we don't need to have a lot. I've got savory herb poultry seasoning. You can look online and find different recipes for this, or just use whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. We're going to put some pepper on this. And then I'm going to use some turmeric. Turmeric is awesome if you suffer from arthritis and other little muscle bound things. It's going to help you. So this is not going to take very long to cook. So you're just going to constantly keep on flipping it around. When it's done cooking, put it on a plate and set it aside. We are going to use it, but we don't need it right now. So just cook her through until she's done. And when that's done, we'll be back and show you the rest of it. So, welcome back. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask you again, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. If you use this, please drop a comment. And remember, we have irc.poulskitchen.club, irc.darkworld.network. We have Pouls-Kitchen in there, #Pouls-Kitchen. Amazing room. We have a Facebook group. Please join there. And please like and share, subscribe our videos. If you like it, let us know. So the chicken's done, so if Amy wants to come in here. Chicken doesn't take a whole long. Don't drain the juices because this is all going to be great juice for the rest of everything else. So what Amy's going to do, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a container here, or containers. Amy's going to give these two a quick wash, and we have to wait for our pasta to finish boiling. When that's done, and remember, when you do your pasta, do not drain the water, because the pasta water is going to be part of the base for our soup. Yes, you can use broth, that's fine. You can use regular water if you want, but having some of the broth is going to help from that. We're not going to use it all, but we're going to use some of it. It is going to form a nice base for the Alfredo, and it will be really good. So we'll be back when we're ready to continue. Welcome back to Pouls-Kitchen, and as you can see, we got over here, we've got our Alfredo. Amy actually wants to come in here so we can actually see it. We got our Alfredo all done and ready. We've removed it without draining. Got some water already in here to get ready here. So I've got some more oil in the pan. There's still some juice left from the chicken, so that's in there. So we got here, and I'm going to use a fork because I don't really want to get my hands greasy. Amy likes to do that. I don't know why, but that's just Amy for you. She is Dutch. So and the reason we're using oil is it helps to make sure that your butter doesn't burn all the way out. And this is going to be a very creamy, very luxurious sauce. So we've got the butter in here, and we're going to let that melt down a bit. And this is some of the pasta water, so we're going to dump this in here too. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but a bowl full should be more than enough. So we're just going to keep stirring this and just let the butter start doing its thing and melting.
Which is doing pretty quickly.
Yeah. Electric woks are awesome, by the way. If you can get your hands on one at half decent price, at a half decent size, you obviously want to have a decent size one. Because if you don't, then you're going to be limited to how much you can make. And you know, Amy and I, we like to make quite a bit. So it's starting to melt down a little bit more here. So we're going to dump in, and I'm using heavy cream or cultured buttermilk for this chance here. People say, you know, I think in Canada it comes out as whipping cream or something like that. But heavy cream is usually my favorite way to do it. And I'm just going to continue to mix this here. And then remember our onion mix? Or I didn't use all of it, because obviously if I put too much in it, then it's going to taste like onion. But I do want to have some of the flavor in there. I just don't want to bite into my fettuccine and just have non-stop crazy intense flavoring for that. That'd be a little bit too much. Now, a little fun fact about Chef Amy here. She'll take an onion, especially if it's fresh. She'll peel it, she'll cut it down a little bit, and she'll eat it like it was an apple.
No.
She does, guys. Don't listen to her. She's Dutch. She's a little weird. If you listen to me enough, you'll think that I hate Dutch people or anything. Dutch people are actually some of my best friends I've ever known. My best friend growing up was Dutch. I love him and love his family. They're all extremely people. And by luck, I met Amy, which comes from a Dutch family. I love her. I love all her family. And between them all, any of the Dutch stereotypes you ever heard, they all fit every single one. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can meet some Dutch people that have extremely dry sense of humors, and I'm not going to mention names. Then you'll have some that actually are legitimately funny. Good people to know. Alright, so once you notice that the butter is all melted, you got everything mixed in here. Now Amy's favorite part.
Cheese.
And I had to guard this, I really did. Because otherwise there'd be like nothing left. So I'm going to put some Parmesan in here. I'm not going to do it all at once.
It's going to be cheesy.
And I'm not even going to use this all. We'll use this for something else later. But half of 250 gram bag is more than enough for this. Except it's not. I got two types of cheese. But you want to finish stirring this in really good before you move on to anything else. Because you gotta really make sure that it's really, really, really mixed in well. So I also got some tacos and nachos cheese. So I'm going to put some of that in here too. This should be extremely cheesy, like Amy shows. And she's not saying anything, so she obviously knows I'm right. Now you can put some hot stuff in here too if you want. But when you're done that, you come out and you just keep on stirring this in. Really, really slowly to make sure it's incorporated right into your sauce. And then what do? You take a spoon and you give it a little bit of a taste test. If you need more cheese, you still should have some left over, so you should be able to tell. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a... Yeah, there we go. And by the way, guys, if you're looking for a new prank to do, take your spouses, your partners, your friends' phone from them when they're not paying attention. They're not going to miss it for a few minutes. Go to their contact list and replace, like, say, your name with Darth Vader. Replace their mom's name with their dad's name and vice versa. Then replace their siblings' names with other people's. And don't, make a fictitious name for most people. Just replace names. Not their numbers, just their names. And I'll tell you, they'll get really confused. Oh yeah. So I'm going to put the cover on that, and we're just going to let that sit for a minute or two. We're just going to let that sit. I'm not going to do it very long. I'm not going away. This is pretty much the end of the video very soon. But we're going to take this time to let this, start to heat up a little bit better, and it's going to be really good. Don't need this right now. And I'm going to grab this. And I really hope you guys enjoy our videos. I really do. It means a lot to us. I love to have people drop comments. I'm not a professional chef. I have professionally cooked. It's been a long time. But I don't consider myself a professional. I'm not here to be a professional. I'm here to try to help people get a better grasp on how to cook a little better, how to enjoy their food better. You notice we don't put a whole lot of salt, if we put any salt in at all. We don't add extra sugar. We try to help encourage you to eat better, to have fun doing it. It's 2022. Let's make this a year of making cooking fun again. We used to do this all the time. Now we have skip the dishes. We have everything. And who cooks anymore? I mean, seriously, who does? Well, maybe this might be your reason to cook. I'm thinking it is. Alright, so just enough to steam it up a little bit. You just wanted to cook out a little bit.
Melt the cheese.
Yeah, get everything done. And we've used a lot of cheese. So it's not all melted yet, so I'm going to put the cover on here. We'll just chat for another minute. But we want to make sure that all the cheese is incorporated as much as you can. It's going to taste really, really wickedly awesome. And you know what? You don't even have to put all the cheese that I did on there. Being that I'm married to a Dutch woman who really loves cheese, this is part of her culture apparently, and she really likes this. So, and you know what? While I'm doing that, just to help things out, I should have thought of this.
Put the chicken
I'm
in.
gonna put the chicken in now. It shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, there's a method to my madness that, why we left some of the fluids in, why we pre-cook things in. We could have everything. I mean, we could do this faster too. I mean, I could sit and have everything going in the oven and the stove and make this go quite a bit faster. I mean, it wouldn't be really that hard to do.
But it's better this way.
This way it makes it easier for me to explain and show you. So when you make this, you don't necessarily have to do the same steps that I do. You really don't. It is what it is, and you know what, time-wise, it shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes maybe, if you do it right. But take your time and have fun with it. I'm going to have a dinner party. This would be a perfect thing. I mean, realistically, $1.77 for some fettuccine. Cheese costs you $5. This, $3. Chicken might cost you $5. Onion, garlic. I mean, you probably have that in your fridge already. It doesn't cost you a whole lot to do this, and this is gonna do a couple meals. And if you think about it, if you go to Olive Garden or some of the more expensive places that actually serve really good quality Alfredo, you're gonna pay through the nose. You really will. I mean, I've seen $25 for a plate, and I don't even know if that even includes the chicken. I don't know about you, but I think my wife would murder me if I actually went out and spent like $25 on an Alfredo that didn't even have chicken in it. Like, she really would. I mean, it's not that my wife's delicious or anything, but she's not stupid. She kind of doesn't like wasting your money.
I can smell the cheese.
But you just want to make sure that things are incorporating and they are. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start putting this in here, and we're not just going to start serving right away. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to let this cook out a little bit more. I'm going to stir this in really good. I mean, if you really want to do better on this, the best thing you can do on this is actually, believe it or not, make homemade noodles. If I wanted to make this video longer, I probably would have done that.
We could have done that.
Yeah, I'm just not, I'm a little tired. I need to get a little bit more sleep, so I don't want to be here forever, and I don't feel like making a super long video. Mind you, I cut things if I really wanted to too, and I've done that a little bit more in this video, but you'll see when you watch it. But by soaking these in the noodles and letting them cook in, the sauce is going to generally soak up in the noodles a little bit more. It's not a thick sauce, and you can totally do other things like cornstarch sometimes will help that. Thicker milk. I mean, I could have used whipping cream. Heavy cream would have done that a lot. But you gotta watch what you're putting in stuff, right? This has 10% sodium, which isn't necessarily the great, but sugars is a little lower than what some others are, and it's more the fat content, right? So you got to be really, really careful on that. Am I going to need all these noodles? Probably not. Am I going to be able to fit all these noodles in?
No.
Well, we're going to try. So we're going to try to get these all in as much as we can, and they'll cook in. And this will be a little bit more soupy than what you might want, but it really depends on how you make your sauce. So am I able to do this, or am I not?
You are. Yeah.
So Chef Amy said I couldn't do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to do this, close the cover, and just... But first, I mean, stir it around a bit. And notice this is extremely full, so it's going to be a real pain. But if you look at the amount of what we have, if I had a dinner party today, we'd have enough to feed an army.
Easily.
But my main goal is when we need something to eat this week, we'll have this in Tupperware, we'll put this in a deep freeze here, and we'll be ready. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the cover on this, and we're going to let this sit for, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not going to just blindly leave this here, I'm going to pay attention. But when it's done, we'll come back, we'll plate, and then you'll get to see the final results. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Pouls-Kitchen. We're ready to be done. We're finished. It's all cooked. After all this time, our Alfredo fettuccine is done. And I'm telling you, this is going to be awesome. So, Amy, get a good shot of that here. We're just going to take the top off this. And now it's time to Just give it one last little stir and be careful not to make a big mess, but that's alright. We got Amy here for that.
Hey!
And then we're just gonna scoop out a little serving here. I'm not sure how hungry Amy is. I'm not.
I'm not that hungry.
Top off with a little bit of green onion. And I think we're good to go. What do you think?
It looks really good.
So that is my Alfredo fettuccine. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Visit us at www.pouls-kitchen.club. Join us in IRC at irc.pouls-kitchen.club or irc.darkworld.network. Drop a like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.